All right. So, hey, welcome to Ohio Real Estate. My name is Jason Ferrier. It's Thursday afternoon, February 1st. Can't believe it, right? And Redfin, this is my Redfin update. Redfin releases an update every single week and usually on Thursday mornings. And so I had a chance to already review the update and then we're going to take a look at it today. So the purpose of today, again, is to look at the Redfin update. It's a weekly update they provide. And then that's a national update on real estate trends and data, as well as some commentary from Redfin. And then we'll also look at what Redfin stats show for just the Columbus area. So if you look at the charts on the page that I'm going to show you in a second, it's all national. And at the end of the video or the end of the live, I'll dive into the Columbus market and Central Ohio market. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing now. In the future, I'll probably take some questions, do some Q&A as more people start to tune in, hopefully. But right now, I'm just going to do the presentation and review the data. So, again, these are lives. One of the first lives I've done. Did one last week, but it's sometimes there are technical problems because I'm streaming on Instagram and YouTube at the same time. So I'll share this now. All right. So this week's Redfin article. Oh, by the way, I got to say this. I am a licensed real estate agent. I'm a realtor here in Ohio, have a license in Ohio. And then I'm also a real estate investor. So I buy and hold rental properties. So I'm a landlord, I guess, right? And also do some flipping. And as an agent, help people buy and sell properties, investment properties, houses, land, all kinds of storage, all types of real estate here in Ohio. So if you're in the Buckeye State and need some help with real estate, give me a shout anytime. You can connect with me and my information is below, or shoot me a note on my Facebook page or Instagram. All right. So this week's housing market update from Redfin. The title of this is Housing Market Update. More people are touring homes, but that hasn't yet translated into more sales or translated to more sales. The way they spin these is fantastic. I picture in my head the CEO, I think his name's Glenn Kelman of Redfin, in a room with the writer. I think her name's Dana Alderson. And I picture her in the room with Glenn basically saying, hey, here's my update. Here's what I'm going to do. And then he spins it because he doesn't want to project, I don't think, their articles as negative. Everything always has to have a positive spin to it, which, it is what it is. So anyway, let's dive into what they have to say. So Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index, which measures requests for home buyer tours and other services from Redfin agents, is ticking up as the spring home selling season draws nearer. That hasn't yet converted to a meaningful improvement in pending sales, but Redfin agents expect it will in the next few months. So I guess since Redfin agents expect, and I guess the real estate agents, they expect that it's going to improve. Maybe it will. I'm not sure about that. Some house hunters are dipping their toes back into the market after harsh winter weather froze them out at the start of January. That's like, they keep saying this. Redfin keeps pointing to the fact that, winter weather was so bad over the last month or so that there's nobody could be looking at houses. Well, that's just completely ridiculous. Like, maybe it's been like a harsh winter, more so than average in other areas of the country. But here in Ohio, it's been like mild. And if it's winter every single year, why would that stop you from looking at a house? The Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index, a measure of requests for tours and other buying services from Redfin agents, rose 6% from a week earlier during the week ending January 28th. And a separate measure of showings also signal they've ticked up over the last week. So they're basically saying in their rundown is that there are more tours of homes happening. The Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index, it's kind of their own little measurement. They could probably change the measurement every week if they wanted to. That is up a lot too compared to a week earlier. Their, customized demand index, but they haven't seen more mortgage applications and they haven't actually seen more home sales yet. Well, it does take a little longer for home, it takes some time for home sales to, make it through the system. So, in other words, if a bunch of people went out and looked for houses today and then next week they put in mortgage applications, well, it would take like a month to see that, those sales push through the system. So, I'm not sure that, tracking it each week to the degree that they are makes a lot of sense. But they go on to say that that earliest stage demand hasn't yet translated into home sales. Mortgage purchase applications declined from a week earlier, and pending sales posted their biggest year-over-year decline in 4 months, likely reflecting tepid early stage demand during the middle of January. But it's January every year, right? Every year we have a slow season. Every year it's January. So when you compare year over year, if it's down year over year, then that would tell me that, it's down year over year. It just is. It's not, you can't really explain that away with the calendar. Home tours and other actions buyers typically take before applying for a mortgage was lower than expected in mid-January, as daily average mortgage rates inched up from their December low point, and severe weather kept many would-be home buyers at home. They keep hanging on to that winter thing. I don't get it. So Redfin agents expect tours to convert into an improvement in pending sales over the next few months. That's partly because of typical seasonality. Home listings and sales usually pick up in spring. No kidding, right? All right. They do highlight something here. This week's economic news suggested that mortgage rates are unlikely to meaningfully fall in the next few months. At its press conference in January 31st, just yesterday, the Fed signaled that they're unlikely to cut interest rates in March, which will probably keep mortgage rates elevated near current level into the spring, though Redfin economists still expect them to gradually decline by the end of the year. Yeah, a lot of people were expecting the Fed to cut their interest rate in March. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I guess it could. Who knows? But one thing to know is that the spread on mortgages, at least from what I've read and heard from experts, is that the spread on mortgages right now is like 280 basis points. So in other words, what banks are lending at and what the Fed charges for their money, there's a spread there. Obviously, that's how they make money, banks, a lot of times on interest rates, but usually that's like 150 basis points. Right now it's 280 basis points. So they're saying there's a full percentage point of cushion there that banks may trim even if the Fed rate doesn't decline. So rates could come down slightly. I think this morning when I checked Mortgage News Daily, they were like 6.75 on a 30-year mortgage. That's, from Mortgage News Daily. So remains to be seen if interest rates are going to decline, but I don't think that would be healthy for the home buying market. I've talked about that before. A lot of people think, low interest rates would help the market. It would certainly increase sales, probably, the amount of sales we have as more sellers come off the sideline, more buyers enter the market, but it probably wouldn't be good for pricing. I mean, we really don't need a hotter market necessarily right now. I need a healthier market and a more balanced market. So at least that's my opinion. Okay, let's look at the leading indicators. So they talk about the daily average 30-year fixed mortgage rate, 6.75. That's what I saw this morning, down from 6.95 a week earlier, so slightly less, but it's up from 6.17 a year earlier this time last year. Let's go down to Redfin. Oh no, let's do mortgage purchase applications. Seasonally adjusted, down 11% from a week earlier, up 10% from a month earlier, as of week ending January 26th, and down 20% from last year. So they're down 11% from a week earlier, from just last week, but they're up 10% from last month. I'm just reading that again to make sure I have it in my brain right. So yeah, I mean, mortgage rates have came down slightly. I guess, winter is starting to end or unwind, I suppose. And now they're saying, hey, mortgage purchase applications aren't increasing. They're actually decreasing. Last week, they were increasing, our last update. Now they're actually down from last week. So we'll watch that, see if mortgage applications continue to increase. And I'm also curious, it says purchase applications here, but I wonder if this includes refis or not. I wonder how they look at that. If this information includes refis, are a lot of these applications refinances or are they just purchases? I don't know. The Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index down 3% from a month earlier as of week ending January 28th, down 17% from a year earlier. So their custom thing that they have, their demand index, it's not like a real thing as far as the industry goes. It's more of just their own index they've created. It's down 3% from last month and down from last year. They don't actually have a number on that. It's more just like their index, I guess. I mean, they probably have in the chart, but they don't show a number here. Google searches for homes up 25% from a month earlier. So people are looking for homes, I guess, more than they were last month, but down 16% year over year. Touring activity is up 9%. So the number of people actually looking at homes, walking through them, up 9% from the start of the year. At this time last year, it was up 5% from the start of the year. So basically they're saying it's just, I guess it's up 4% year over year. Is that how I look at that? And this is according to Showing Time, which is the website that most agents use to, book showings of houses. All right. Let's look at some key housing data here from them. Median sale price, $361,245, up 5.5% year over year. Biggest increase since October 2022. So the spread, I think last week it was 4.1%, if I remember right, year over year. So now it's 5.5% year over year. So there is a larger spread from this year compared to last year with the median sale price. Median asking price up 7%. Biggest increase since September of 2022. So let's look at the median monthly mortgage payment. $2,500, almost $2,600 at a 6.69%. That's up 12% year over year, down roughly $120 from the all-time high set in October 2023, but up roughly $250 from the 4 weeks ending December 31st. So since the beginning of the year, the average mortgage, the median mortgage payment, not average, but median monthly mortgage payment has increased. Because, I think a couple weeks ago, we were down several $100s, I think $300 or $400 compared to the all-time high. Now we're only down $120 from the all-time high. Pending sales. This is the thing that stood out to me in this whole report. Year over year, down 8.5%. Biggest decline since October of 2023. So the number of, pending sales. So the number of pending sales, houses that are in contract is down significantly compared to last year, meaning people aren't pulling the trigger as much as they were even last year. And last year's last year's pending sales and actually closed sales were dismal. And now they're worse. New listings. So let's look at inventory. So the new listings were actually up 4.9% compared to last year. And active listings are down 3.8% compared to last year. Still only 743,000 active listings. So the number of houses for sale is actually less than it was last year. It's amazing that it is. I mean, considering the fact that pending sales are where they are, mortgage payments are where they are, the demand index from Redfin is dismal, obviously. And it's the winter time right now, which it always is winter in January, right? Or in February. But the point is that it's amazing that active listings haven't increased more. We don't have more active listings than we did last year. It's astonishing that happened, especially with new listings increasing. Months of supply. This one trips people up all the time. Right now, 4.8 months of supply nationally. So overall, nationally, if you took all the houses and all the active inventory we have, which is 743,000, according to Redfin, So you have 743 active listings right now, 743,000 active listings. 4.8 months of supply means we didn't really add any more active listings, and we sold at our current demand pace. We would sell through that inventory in 4.8 months. The problem with that is you have to, and I say this every time, almost all my videos, you have to look at the price point of the active listings, because what we're seeing, at least I am in Columbus, is that houses priced under the median or right at the median are not moving. Or I'm sorry, are moving really fast. Like, you can't find a great house in a great neighborhood below the median. That's not in it. They're not going to sit on the market long. They're going to fly off the market, and they are flying off the market. But houses that are expensive, so houses like, 700 grand here in Columbus would be an expensive house. The median's about 310 or so. So a $700,000 house is expensive. $1 million house is really expensive. So like, those are sitting longer, or they're tending to sit longer than normal, because interest rates are higher and people are thinking, well, I have a house now that my mortgage payment is this, whatever it is, at 4% that I got, 5 years ago. Why would I trade up into a $700,000 million house with a mortgage payment that now is much higher, with a much higher interest rate? People aren't moving up. So because of that, a lot of those move up houses, those more expensive houses, are just taking longer to sell. So my point of all that rambling is that if you look at the months of supply and just look at it and say 4.8 months, now it's growing. It's growing zero point 0.2 points, it says, year over year. Well, that doesn't tell the whole picture, because you have to look at behind the data and go, hey, where are the house prices at for those months of supply? So expensive houses, if you're looking for an expensive house, yeah, they're out there and available. If you're looking for an affordable house, at least here in Central Ohio, hard to find. In a lot of other areas, probably the same thing. Houses that are destroyed, need 100 grand in work, new windows, roof, foundation work, those are out there and you can find those. But houses that need a little bit of work, or will qualify for FHA, or move-in ready in good neighborhoods and price below the median, still getting multiple offers, unfortunately. So in other words, the months of supply for affordable houses are probably a lot less. Share of homes off the market in 2 weeks, 30%. That's up from 29%. Median days on market, 47. That's down 2 days year over year. Share of homes sold above list price. I mean, this is one of the things that's just wacky. That's 22.8. That's up from 21%. So like, the number of homes that are selling over their asking price is increasing. And it's more than it was last year. So I think, and when you look at the pending sales and this number of sold properties, and then you mix in the fact that new listings are increasing, my bet is a lot of those new listings, if they are sitting for a while on the market, are typically houses that people either don't want, they're either destroyed, maybe overpriced. That happens a lot of times. And so that's probably why some of these houses are sitting longer. It's causing the months of supply to increase. The problem is the houses that are affordable and that people actually can move into and afford, those aren't available as long, and those are moving. All right, median sale price. Let's look at where they have the biggest increases in the country. Anaheim, California. Like, this list is almost the same as it was last week. Anaheim, California, 15% increase year over year. Miami, 14.7% increase. New Brunswick, New Jersey, 13.3. West Palm Beach, Florida, 12.9. And Detroit, that's new from last week, 11.8%. And year over year decrease is the biggest. Austin, 5.6%, and San Antonio, Texas, 2.1%. And then they say here, declined in 2 metros. So does that mean that everything except 2 metros increased year over year, or had a year over year increase? That's what it seems to be when I look at that data. So pretty crazy. Pending sales are up in San Francisco, San Jose, and Anaheim. Down in Portland, 31% decrease in pending sales in Portland. Wow. San Antonio, Denver, Nashville, New Brunswick. If you live in one of these metros, comment below. I'd love to know what you're seeing. If you're seeing anything, that's goofy in your metro, and particularly if you live in one of these, I'd love to understand. Or are you seeing this where prices are increasing and sales are tanking? New listings, the number of houses coming on the market. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 26.5%. Wow, increase year over year. But now, look at this, and now go back up to the top here a little bit. Miami has a year-over-year increase of 14.7% in median sale price. And now if you scroll down here and look at the new listings, it's up 22.3%. So it's like there's a lot more houses hitting the market in Miami compared to last year, but the median sale price is also up a lot compared to last year. So you would think with more inventory, then prices would probably decrease. But again, it could be the price and the inventory mix. I'd love to see the active listings. I wish they put that on here too as a leading indicator. All right, median sale price. Let's look at the visualizations of the data on these graphs. And you can see there's a spread here. This is the median sale price compared to 2023. This blue line here is 2024. And there's definitely a spread here. The question is that going to continue to go up, right? Is that going to go like this, and beat last year? Or is it going to kind of go this way and basically cut these in half or, and be down? So in other words, all the people that purchased here, they're actually, at a loss compared to where 2024 values are. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where this trend kind of continues. I mean, it's going to have to go up a lot to catch up to last year, right? Median asking price is like straight up. And that's what I'm talking about. I suspect that a lot of these houses that are hitting the market right now are people that either need to sell. Maybe they have an expensive house they need to sell. Maybe they're testing the market. There are sellers I talk to a lot of clients of mine will, at the beginning when we start talking, they'll say, hey, Jason, I want to put my house on the market and kind of test the market. Not a great strategy for selling your house, but I understand where they're thinking is that they're like, well, I have a house that I don't know if I want to sell it or not, but if I got enough for it, I would sell. So maybe the house is priced at let's pretend it's a house that should be 600 grand. And they say, put it on the market at 690 to see if we get anybody who wants to buy it at 690, and then I'll sell it. So it's like, are these the fact that the median asking price is increasing like this because more people are doing that, testing the market. So it's up. I mean, the median asking price is up 7% year over year. That's just astonishing. All right, let's look at home buyer housing payments. We all know those are high and outrageous right now compared to last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. Pending sales, 4-week rolling average, down, way down, right? Down 8.5% compared to last year. I mean, look back at 2021. I mean, our pending sales were almost, what were they? They weren't double, but they were a lot higher. I mean, they were dang near 100,000, and we're only 65, 70,000. New listings of homes for sale. So new listings obviously increased. It's 4.9% year over year increase. Active listings. Number of houses for sale right now, down compared to last year. Again, I wonder if this just the fact that there are houses sitting on the market that aren't moving. They're overpriced, houses people don't want, but the ones that are on the market that are good are moving, hence why active listings may be lower than last year. 4.8 months of supply. I mean, that's shooting straight up. But I mean, look at where this thing was in 2022. Look at this. I mean, 2022 at this time, look how low that was. I think just nothing for sale at all. I think at that point, everything was moving. Now, the good stuff's moving, but the bad stuff is not. 23% of homes sold above final list price. That's actually what, more than it was last year, a lot less than 21, and a lot less than 22. Back in 2022, look at that. 40%, near 40% of homes were selling above final list price. Not good. 5.2% of houses had price drops. This speaks again to my theory that it's product mix on the market that's driving some of these goofy stats. I mean, there are more people discounting their houses, but if you have a house that's overpriced to begin with, or not in an area people want, or a house that needs a ton of work, a lot of times you do have to discount it now to actually get get some offers. Pricing your house out of the gate is extremely important. I had the mentor I used for real estate when I first got into the business, wasn't that long ago, like 7 years ago. They told me, and they like drilled it into my brain, that that entry price is like paramount to being successful on a listing. Because if you list it too high, then you got to drop the price, and that just that doesn't look good, right? You want to price something so that it makes sense for the market and allows people to come look at it and make offers. Redfin home buying demand index. So I do that. I guess they do put a number to this. I don't know what the numbers mean. Now it says what, it's 105.39. Look at the buyer demand index back in the day, like 2022. Holy Toledo. Like double what it is now. Anyway, not sure how much stock you can put in the home buyer demand index. All right. Well, that's the national update. Let's check out Columbus. So again, you can come to this tab anytime you want, or come to this site anytime you want, and look at the Redfin data from a metro standpoint, a county level, I believe. Like here, I can go to county. Or I can go to metro. So I'll go to metro, and then I'm going to select Columbus. Okay. And I'll remove 2000. Let me remove them all except 23 and 24, just to clean up the chart a little. All right. Let's start with median sale price. Again, this is for the Columbus, Ohio, Central Ohio market. It encompasses basically like Licking County, Franklin County, Delaware County, Fairfield County, probably forgetting some, Union County, Madison County. And there are some other counties like Knox County and such that have data that feed into the Columbus metro area. And then there's some other, even like Knox County, some of that area actually uses a different MLS. So it would be I think the Mansfield MLS, I believe. All right. In any case, let's look at the median sale price. 306,000 here in Central Ohio. Now that came down from 307,000, and then down from what, last month, or at the beginning of December, it was 314,000. You can see it peaked back in 2023. Last year, we peaked at 341 a couple times. So we're definitely off from peak. But again, just like the national perspective, I wonder if the price is going to continue to increase up here, or is it going to cut through this and actually come underneath 2023? Comment below. I'd love to know what you think. If pricing, do you think our median price will continue to climb? Let's look at new listings. So new listings are up slightly, 0.8% year over year. Not really that much news on that one. They're about where they were last year as far as new listings hitting the market. Active listings, number of houses for sale, dang near flat from last year, pretty much on the same amount as we had last year. months of supply. Let's look at that. And they do this with weeks. This is 13.8 weeks, about flat from last week when we did an update, and year over year, a week more than year over year. So you divide that by 4, and you're at like 3 point some months of supply. Again, if you look at the price points, I think you'll find you're far under even in a lot of areas of central Ohio, you're under 1 month of supply when you look at the price points. Like if you're thinking about a house between, 200 grand and $250,000, they're probably under a month of supply because there's just not a lot. Now, if you're looking in the $1 million range, $2 million range, then yeah, there's probably going to be more supply. And all that equals out to basically 3.5 months of supply. Let's look at, I want to look at sales. Sorry. Homes sold. Well, look at that. Year over year, homes sold down 2.8% compared to last year. Man, if you are in the real estate business, if you're a title agent, a realtor, a mortgage loan officer, maybe a house inspector, a photographer, anybody like that, you've got to notice the fact that there are less houses being sold. I'm sure you do. That's a stupid thing for me to say. I notice it. I mean, there is less activity overall. It's hard to imagine us getting any lower than this, but we may. It is possible if the inventory remains the way it is right now, which is constrained. Without more inventory, prices are going to remain sticky. They may continue to increase. And especially with Intel coming in or here, the amount of demand is not going to slow down. At least I don't think it will. Demand is just going to keep increasing here in Columbus and Central Ohio. So, we need more inventory to get the bus rolling again with the number of sales. I mean, and yeah, if you are in the real estate industry, this is a bad year, or it was a bad year in 2023 from a transaction standpoint. And this year so far isn't really, doing much. Though I would say on this graph, you can see it's starting to uptick a little sooner than it did last year, but it's still kind of in the basement. Yeah. Wow. Let's look at median days on market. Maybe interesting to look at that. So this is the median, how long a house actually stays on the market. If you look at all the houses that sell and you go right in the middle as far as days, what's the median? So right now it's 47.3. That's down 1.9 year over year. A lot of times people look at average days on market, not median. Do we have average days on market? I don't know if they put that on here. No, I don't think they do. Well, let's look at pending sales too. I should have looked at that before solds. Pending's right basically where we were last year, 1% down, not that much down, but pending sales aren't any better either. So I guess first thing to look at if you're in the Columbus area, or I guess any metro, and you're like, hey, are prices going to decrease in my area, or are they going to increase? Well, look first. I would look at inventory. Look at what the active inventory is currently for your area, and have somebody, a realtor or maybe a title company could even probably help you with this. Anybody with access to the MLS maybe would help you, but look at the active inventory and look at the number of houses sold and what's the pace of the sales in that price point. Don't look at the whole market. Look at the price point that you're interested in and in the area you're interested in, and look at how fast inventory is turning, and then watch the inventory. And if you see the inventory start to creep up and the number of new listings start to creep up and the number of sold listings decline or stay the same, that means more inventory could be hitting the market in that price point for that area. And that could translate into some lower prices or more competition for sellers, which would obviously allow you to maybe make an offer lower than you typically would. Now, I'm not saying that's happening anywhere, at least not in Columbus or the Central Ohio area that I know of, but That's what I would look at if I was, looking for a house and wanted to maybe get a deal, or, make an offer lower than what the person's asking for. But if houses are moving within days or a week or 2 weeks with no price cuts in the market you're in and the price point that you want to buy in, the chances of you getting a low ball offer accepted are virtually nil, right? Because why would they if they're getting the maximum price usually? So anyway, that's what I would pay attention to. And then you can also pay attention to pending sales and say, all right, our house is going into contract more than they were last year. Are they moving faster? If they're not, and more inventory is building, could be a good case for a discount. Anyway, all right, so that is Columbus, and now I'm done. All right. Anyway, that was my live today. Redfin's update. I'll do it again next week. Keep watching these numbers. See, is the median price going to, cut through next year? I'm sorry. Was the median price going to cut through this year come summer, or is it going to keep skyrocketing? Or is it going to decline? That's what we have to watch. And I'm really curious on how the Columbus market does this spring. Are we going to beat that 341 in median price? Or are we going to basically come in under 2023? So that'll be interesting. I can tell you, if interest rates drop, that won't be good for pricing. I can figure prices will continue to go up. I think prices will end anywhere from 5 to 10% up year over year in Columbus and the Central Ohio market once we're all said and done with 2024. That's where I think they'll end up. But if interest rates come down, if they came into the sixes, like low sixes, or if they came into like the fives, heaven forbid, then that would not be good at all, at least for the Central Ohio market, and probably not a lot of other markets throughout the country either. So, all right, I've rambled enough. Thank you for your time today. Shoot me a comment below, subscribe, like this. We'll see you next week. Peace.